sometimes we believe things today that we didn't believe yesterday, that we may not believe tomorrow. And that has to be okay.
Yeah. And we might believe a lot of the stuff. But, it's just, again, the flexibility of being open to change and giving yourself permission to outgrow that version of yourself that saw things way different, and embracing that, because all of these changes and all of these new versions of yourself only come out when you step into those portals and just open your mind and your heart to it and become it.
Welcome to Permission the Podcast. I'm Dr. T, and this is my sister,
Silvana, and we are two regular people talking about spirituality in our daily lives.
Each week, we're inviting you to the internal conversation. So let's get started.
With your permission.
Welcome back.
Hi.
To Permission the Podcast. Okay, so today, what we have for you is the changing mind. I came up with this topic because I was actually thinking, okay, we have this whole thing going with this podcast. It's been over a year now.
Why are you changing your mind? And you're going to tell me on the
live? No. No, I mean, okay, so we started this 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I have high hopes for this to continue for a long time. And I suspect that, this year, next year, and the year after, we're going to be learning things. And we're going to be encountering new ideas. We're going to be evolving and changing. And when we receive new information, me and you at least, we, tend to change with that because we're pretty flexible people.
Thank you.
Right?
I am pretty flexible.
Right.
Even at
literally.
Up to. Yeah, I mean, I feel like things that come, it's like the
That's
ocean,
coffee.
right? It's like, you gotta go with the flow. And so I don't resist. I mean, certain things, yes, if I don't agree with something, obviously I'm going to say something, but, right, for the most part, yeah, flexible.
And that's the thing. I was thinking about the things that I was so certain about, like 3 years ago or 5 years ago,
right,
or 10 years ago. And I don't believe those things.
Same here. Even stepping back even more, I've learned that everything I've ever pointed my finger, I judged or something, it just came into my life, and it's just like, learn it. Be with it. Soak yourself in it. And so I've learned to change my mind about a lot of things because the universe taught me otherwise. No. Here you go. Bing!
The reason why I thought to do this is, we might say something in 2026
that disagrees with what we said in 2025. Yeah.
Or disagrees with something we will say in 2030. right?
Sure, because we are evolving, we're constantly changing, and we're constantly viewing things in a different lens based on the experiences we have, based on, what life throws at you. And so, I mean, we're about to head to an amazing event.
Oh, right. Let's talk about
So
that.
we're about to head to meet Daryl, and he's the
Chandler Bashar.
Bashar. And so we are going to be, I feel like today it's, by the time the event is over, so it's from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And by the time that event is over, I'll be a new version of myself. Like, I already know that. And so whatever we say
right now, before the event,
Before
could be very different
could be a little different. Exactly.
from post-event permission podcasters. So, well, I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes there's a concept of like really sticking to this idea or something you said or I said or we said at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And because we said that thing, it's almost like we're now pinned to it. And I just don't subscribe to that anymore.
Right. And then there's also all this video evidence of us saying it.
Right. Which is another added thing of like, no, let's go back to that episode.
Media and the fact checkers and, right.
You actually do believe this because you said it, at this time.
So how I feel about words and what you say and the true meaning of everything, it's the second you said them, right? Like the true value of what I'm saying, it's right here, right now, in this moment. Because
it doesn't last longer than the moment.
Right, because it's going to change as I evolve, as I change, as I view things differently, as the veil drops, And so, am I going to always be the person that thinks this or that? No. I'm going to read books. I'm going to listen to podcasts. I'm going to just change or practice differently how I manifest based on, the books I'm reading. And so, yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. If I'm a person that is constantly learning, then in and of itself, the inherent nature is to change because I'm learning. If I was not learning, then there would be more motivation to not change because there wouldn't be new input.
Right. So you will just, you'll be.
I'd have the same thoughts. I have the same ideas.
You'd be
and
a puddle of water.
There would be nothing new. So this is why I thought we should probably set people up to really understand that because we're people that learn and because we're people that take in information, that integrate that information, and that apply that information, then our minds are subject to change because we have new information. I mean, okay, so that's the other piece is I don't want to set people up for inconsistencies, right? I'm not just going to say, oh, this is X and now it's Y and now it's Z. It's not that exactly. It's more that when new information is is provided to a dynamic, I might be able to have a new perspective on that dynamic.
As you look at one thing from different angles, right? You look at it, you were looking at it from this point of view, and now you have the bird's eye view, or you have a different view of it, a different angle, a different idea, and then you start thinking, that makes sense. And you can change your mind about how you thought about it before, because now you can see it from more than one angle, right?
Well, and the other piece is that oftentimes consistency is connected to or married to integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And like the concept of inconsistency can be viewed as the opposite of that value. And at the same time, the holding on to consistency, like white-knuckling consistency, could be failure to grow, failure to evolve, failure to integrate something new, and a big sign of inflexibility. If you're provided with new information that could shift the way in which you perceive something, and you're failing to perceive it in that way, that's failure to grow.
I call that tunnel vision. Now that you put it that way, failure to grow, or just resistance. Resistance to just, no, this is who I am. And I've been guilty of at one point saying, that's it. This is all you get. This is how I am. And, yes, do I show up for things? Do I do certain things? Am I smiling? Am I doing all these things? That still remains, but there's parts of me that change as enlightenment or as downloads come in. Then I'm like, okay, I get this. And so when that happens, a new version of myself is born every time, so it's kind of like the death of the old and the rebirth of the new. Yeah, resurrection.
Phoenix rising. So also, I want to put out there that, don't get me wrong, I'm a Taurus. I can do the same thing over and over and over again without an end, right? So we were talking, I don't know when, about our trip to Italy. I might have had bolognese like 20 different times.
Yes, really odd.
I just ordered the same thing every single time. Meat sauce pasta or anything mortadella.
Well, I think you were out to rate who made the best one. Or at least that's what I told myself. So every time I saw you eating it, it was like, okay, how does that rate compare to the other? Oh, this is the best one so far.
I know a thing or two about consistency because I know what I like, and I have no problem getting the same thing over and over and over again. I've liked meat sauce pasta since I was a small child. That was one of my mom's favorite things for her to cook. I know about consistency. That's not the point.
That's not what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Like, unless the moment...
We're talking about growth too, like...
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's not functional, right? Like, oh, I'm just getting this meat sauce pasta, even though I just don't like it, holding on to an idea of a version of myself as a child. Like, that's not serving a function. I actually enjoyed all of those meat sauce pastas.
And all the pizzas with mortadella, burrata, and
pistachio pesto.
Pistachio pesto. It was amazing. But at one point I was like, it's time for something else.
Well, you weren't eating it the same thing every time. So the pieces, I have a tendency to enjoy and find comfort in doing the same thing. And I do rely on some routines that I really like, and can almost like take pleasure in the comfort of knowing what I'm going to get. Like when I encountered a new restaurant and a new menu, I knew exactly what I was going to get, right?
Pizzas, ragu.
To some extent, there is that, and the routine and all of these other things that stay consistent and stable. And there's, the things that we experiment with, like when I was doing 4 a.m. meditations, which I've done a few since we came back from Europe, because I stopped doing them for a while. And with the time change, with, the jet lag, it was helpful to do some 4 a.m. meditations. And that was really lovely.
Yes, I think I did 1 or 2 as well. Because I'm like, well, I'm wide awake. It's 3:33 in the morning. I woke up one day at 3:33 and I'm like, it's 3:33.
Me too.
What do I do? Okay, let's meditate.
Let's meditate. Yeah. So it's also about being flexible with what's present, right? So even if I have a routine, and before Europe, my routine started at 6 a.m., pretty much I had an alarm set for 6 a.m. every single day. And that's the time I would just wake up every day. And after we got back, it was, like 5 or 4 or whatever, and not really fighting against it. There was one night I didn't even sleep, but I was just kind of awake, and I'm in those moments, I'm not fighting the not sleeping just as much as I'm not fighting or resisting new information.
What about the eating? We were eating 3 meals a day. And
that was so excessive.
And you only eat, 2 hours a day?
4.
And I'm like, oh, that is gonna lose it. More food.
You guys are hungry again?
She'll be like, you guys are hungry again? Oh, I guess I'm just going to order another ragu.
Because I wanted to try it.
I'm like, okay, I thought you weren't hungry. And then she would proceed to eat the whole thing.
Because it's there. Because I ordered it. Whatever. Life is hard. So sometimes it could seem like when someone changes their mind, it's like a character flaw or some kind of weakness in the person's character. And I used to believe that.
You used to believe that?
Oh, okay, you thought this one thing and now you think this other thing. You're like a flaky person. You're
a politician.
You are mentally weak, or you have no kind of ability to stand by your morals or whatever.
Right. And for me, it was, I guess, also going from being raised Catholic, right? Being raised Catholic and believing certain things. Gosh, I remember when I found out you were gay, I was like, the first thought in my mind was, she's safe. Is God okay with it? Like, I was concerned about you being, you being okay. And so I talked to a priest about it. And I asked, my sister, I said lesbian, but I know you're bisexual.
Who knows what
or
I am?
whatever. I said, well, she's a lesbian and I'm worried about her not going to heaven. Like, that was my concern. This is when did I know you were still in high school? No, college. Were you in college?
Horny.
Have
we talked about her?
it was Teresa's first. Was
my
her
first
your
partner? Yeah,
first girlfriend. Okay,
yeah.
and
my father
dad
couldn't say her name.
Her name is Corny, and my dad said, "Oh, hi, horny." And
also, he doesn't know what that means.
Yes, and so that stuck, and we still call her.
We still call her horny.
We call her horny because of my father. But going back to my big concern was, oh my gosh, she's not going to go to heaven. She's, like I was so worried about this. And the priest I spoke to was like, okay. He's a Jesuit, so he was like, very open-minded. He's like, do you think God loves you more because you're heterosexual? And then that did it. And I'm like, no. Okay. That was it. Period. And so there was, like, you can change your mind as information comes and it clicks and you know it as truth and you feel it and it just, and you can't be the same person you were. I could not go back to thinking, oh my God, she's going to burn in hell. You know what I mean? Like, there was no going back to that. And this happens every time something amazing like that happens, right? Some information, some enlightenment, or even you just all of a sudden noticing that there's more than one mirror in the car. There's the rear view mirror, there's the side mirrors, there's the blind spots. And so as you use all of those mirrors, then you become a better driver.
So that's the thing about truth. I feel like it has a way of shifting the internal foundation, and that takes time to settle too. So it's almost like when truth lands, it kind of is like thunderous, and it kind of creates an upheaval, and then that upheaval has to settle, and then you land on a whole new reality sometimes. And that's the concept of dropping the veil and things like that. And sometimes it's just you're hearing something being verbalized that you know is true and you never really thought about it. You're like, oh yeah, right. That makes perfect sense.
That clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can think of the version of yourself that didn't know that. And you can almost laugh at that. I mean, like I can totally laugh at the version of myself that thought you were going to burn in hell.
Right. And I have hopes that in 10 years from now, when we listen back to these episodes, they're also going to be laughable. Because I have hopes to outgrow myself.
Absolutely. New versions every time. Yeah.
And be able to say, yeah, that version of me, I feel her. I feel for her. I feel her. She's okay. She's me now.
Also be able to see like, okay, I went through this, and this, and it taught me this, and that. Without that version of yourself, you wouldn't have learned, So at the end, it all adds up to be, you at the present moment, just the version that you need to be, the perfect version of yourself in the present moment.
So here's what I absolutely don't want.
Oh boy.
What I absolutely don't want is for me to not have grown, not have changed, and not have any new thoughts or ideas. That's what I absolutely don't want. So if we're listening to episodes 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and we have not changed, that's going to be very sad and problematic. Right? Like, if we have the exact same thoughts, the exact same identities, the exact same opinions, what are we doing? Seriously.
Right. And some things will remain, right? Like, it's not like absolutely everything will go out. But, hey, we might listen back and say, hey, we were onto something.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Or we would just laugh at ourselves, like, yeah, this is before the bell dropped. the complete bell drop. Who knows?
Or you'll wake up and be like, I am Roman Catholic.
That's not going to happen.
You don't know. I will bring you back to church.
I mean, I do feel a connection to it. It's not like I'm totally disconnected, but it's funny because when was it? We were having dinner for my son's 18th birthday, and he did the prayer, and he started the prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, and automatically,
You did the sign of the cross.
It's like autopilot. It just happened, and I'm like, hey, just whatever, let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, there's something to be said about rituals and the things that we do in repetition that do form our beliefs that are unconscious. Part of everything that we're doing here is consciously building our beliefs that make up our identity. And sometimes we believe things today that we didn't believe yesterday, that we may not believe tomorrow. And that has to be okay.
Yeah. And we might believe a lot of the stuff. But, it's just, again, the flexibility of being open to change and giving yourself permission to outgrow that version of yourself that saw things way different, and embracing that, because all of these changes and all of these new versions of yourself only come out when you step into those portals and just open your mind and your heart to it and become it.
Be it. Okay, so my prediction for my future self. Ready?
Seriously? Okay.
My prediction for my future self.
This is not the World Cup.
Vive la France. My prediction for my future self is that I will care less.
More?
More than
wow.
Care less more than now. Is that
wow? I don't know. I kind of feel that you're caring more, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Well, you did confess that you're crying in your sessions with your patients, and
I am.
like you're being a little more, you're feeling more stuff, and you have given yourself permission to let those emotions go through you, right? And so when you say not caring more, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the noise in the background, the news, the people that talk about the bad news, and oh, that means mom. Like, I know what you mean, yet at the same time, I wouldn't throw just that out there in the universe like a, absolute truth, because you do care a lot more about a lot of stuff, and you are feeling a lot of things you weren't feeling before. And I'm proud of you for that.
Thank
like you are
human. That's weird. It's strange.
You're opening your heart, like you're allowing, you're giving yourself permission
Permission to feel. So I feel like care less about stuff that really doesn't matter. Right?
Right.
Like, before I had feelings about things like, I don't know, people that are into Trump or not into Trump. I had feelings about people that did X versus Y. I had feelings about whatever. And now it's just kind of like, you're going to do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. And I can respect that.
Yeah. You do you.
And I'll do me. And we're all equal and the same.
Right. And at the same time, understanding that you're still part of me.
And I'm unbothered.
Yeah.
And I'm not bothered.
Right. I'm not bothered by whatever your avatar is doing.
and so, your existence. I'm not bothered by your existence.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to have to say.
And it's, and also because I find it amazing that understanding that we're all truly just one. So I'm unbothered with what you're doing because I know that your avatar is doing that, but at the same time, I know that you are also pure essence as well. And so I can send you love. I can send you light to your soul, because your higher soul it's everything we all are, which is light, which is love, which is freedom, which is all of these beautiful things. And so I can honestly just look at anyone and anything and just be like, oh, sending you love. Today coming here because I left my house. I woke up at 4:40.
Dang, bro.
So I can take a shower and I can come to New York City because we're going to head out for the event. And as I was coming, there's this car that cut me off in a rude way. Like, he got into my lane. He didn't cut off in front of me. Like, he merged into my lane. So I had to move a little bit. So, and I don't know how many versions of myself ago would have been like, what the, beat the horn, blah, 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 blah. And instead, I smiled. I opened my heart and I sent them love. And I'm like, you're in a rush for a reason. Whatever it is, I hope you make it there and, be safe. And I hope you make it there safe. And then what happened? Then a police car just flies by and pulls him over.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, I wasn't wishing that on him, but like I was wishing that he gets to wherever he needs to get to
And
safe.
maybe that was the way that he got there safe.
And maybe that was it. And I thought about it. That's exactly what I thought about. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I was also going a little fast. He was going faster and cut me off nasty. And I wished him that. And then when the police car pulled him over, and I'm like, this is it. This is how you're going to get safe to wherever you need to get. And thank you, police officer.
Well, that's so fascinating. Driving is definitely one of the ways that I know I have changed. I was such an angry young little driver. You know?
And you know what else I was too? Like, not like an angry little driver, but like, I was like, if you're driving fast and you're passing me, I'm going to pass you.
Like, fuck this dude.
I'm going to go faster than you.
I'm so glad I'm over that. I'm just like not about that life anymore.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm not really getting angry. I mean, anger's not really in my repertoire of things I really experience. I mean, I become passionate about things. And sometimes I'm like, are you listening to what I'm saying? But that's not really coming from anger. It's coming from like, I'm really passionate about what I'm talking about, and I really want to be heard and understood, but it's not really anger driven.
That's kind of violent. Are you listening to what I'm saying?
I had this conversation with my cousin recently where I was like screaming about something, and I wasn't mad. I was just passionately opinionated.
Oh, that's what you call it. Okay. That's hilarious. But and the other thing is that there's nothing wrong with being upset about something, right? I don't get upset anymore. It's so weird.
It's not a thing.
I was thinking about this the other day because I had met a friend of a friend and we had gone on a couple of lunches. And at one point she says, so it seems like you're just always happy and nothing bothers you and you never get angry. So I would tell her stories and she's like, so you never get upset? You never get angry? And I'm like, not really. I gotta say the last time I felt some sort of way and I was...
You felt some sort of way. I say that often.
And I was ready to act on it and be loud about it as well, was when the coach was being so unfair to my son and other senior kids, and this was senior day, and my son didn't get to play, but I don't know how many minutes the first half, and like I'm talking about less than 5 minutes, and then or 5 minutes. And then the second half, he didn't even put him after, and then he brought him back for like nothing. And this was senior day, and my son is a good player.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because he's my son. And so there was a lot of angry, because there was like 3 boys or 4 boys that were like being treated, right? And so I was getting ready to say something. And I saw my son came off the field. He was upset. I could see it. He still had, like, although he was upset, like he was above it in a way. And I was so proud of him. Meanwhile, I was ready to get out. And then, so the kids were out and the coaches were like in the field still. And I was ready to be lined over there and have a conversation with him. Like, what was he trying to prove? How come he didn't let the seniors play? This is senior. And why are you leaving this taste in their, like they're leaving. They're done with high school. Why are you, what was the point of it? And so, and as I'm getting ready to go and just say, and I wasn't going to be nasty about it, but I just wanted to understand. And then I said, before I went, I said, is this going to make him change his mind? Is it going to change anything? Is it going to? And then I realized it's not.
No, it's not going to do anything.
And so I just okay, was I feeling some sort of way? I was sad to see my son be sad, right? So, but I, I had a conversation with him and I'm like, and that passed. And then, I was giving his friend a ride home and I'm like, hey, I can take you home or you can come over our house and you can cheer up Brendan because you'll be really happy that one of his mates came by. Right. And he goes like, let's go to the house. And so, just finding ways to, it's not going to change what happened, but it sure is to support and to be there for one another. Right. And that's what he really needed. No matter what I said to the coach, I could have gone there and punched him. It wouldn't have changed what had happened.
Right.
And in fact, I would have given my power to him.
Exactly. Because you would have let him run your emotions and your actions and all of that. And you met the situation where the situation was at. And it's interesting you're saying like what is the function? I always think about that. If I'm going to spend my precious time, energy, resources, and powerful words, it has to be meaningful, it has to be worthy, and it has to serve a function. And that function is dual function, right? It has to serve a function for myself in my life and for the situation and / other. And you were able to praise that pretty quickly. I mean, we just read a book, and maybe you listened to it too, but I listened to the book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Mind by Bob Proctor. And
change your paradigm, change your life.
Change your life. And in it, he specifically says, people don't resist change. People resist being changed. Yeah. And the only way a person will change is if they decide to change for themselves.
Right. And
that's the whole thing.
I know. And with time, I've learned that, I mean, there's nothing I can now. Can I still say something and have a conversation?
Plant a seed.
Perhaps maybe the next, the kids from the next year, I'm going to go through it or whatnot. Sure. but it is how you're approaching the situation, and how would that make a difference, right? And so, is it going to make a difference for my son? No. Will it make a difference for other kids? Maybe. and so, just being able to understand that and to act on that in ways that are helpful, not to just get your your anger out or whatever. And at the dinner table, I remember too, because this is vivid to me too. It's we were having dinner and we were talking about everything that happened, and I just said to my son, like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Well, it did. My confidence was, took a hit, right?" And he was very verbal about it, and we actually had him signed up to see a therapist. So he had a therapist to talk to and about it, and also with us. And I was just like, Brandon, all the time that you came off that field, even though I knew what you were going through, you still were above it. And because you could still say, hey, like, I got to pick up all these balls and whatnot. Like, he was able to make light of it in a way. Yes, he was a little sarcastic, but also he wasn't like,
Yeah.
And so
it really showed his character.
It really did. And I told him, I'm so proud of you. And all people have issues and problems. I don't know what kind of issues he grew up with, your coach. I don't know what hand he was dealt. I don't know any of that. And I know that there was also an issue with drinking for him. And so I don't know. But what I'm sensing is, out of everyone and everything, he's the one person that needs the most love.
Truth.
And and so, and I was so proud to have raised this boy, like, oh my God, you are amazing.
Right, because he was able to kind of supersede the situation, but also someone that was supposed to be his superior, right? Like, a coach is someone you look up to.
Right.
It's interesting with like relationships, and the relationships have the capacity to really transform you as a person and who you are and how you view things, just by the nature of, conflict resolution and things like that. I often find that it's where I do the most learning, right? So if we're talking about changing our minds, changing our opinion, something that would and has and will change my opinion is a relationship, and going through, conflict resolution, or even going through a period of learning with someone is really transformative in that sense. And I have changed my mind or my opinion on things based on relationships. And I have also decided when those relationships, friendships don't deserve my attention, because the energy that I provide and I give is also valuable to me, and being able to walk away, like you walking away from the coach is you basically saying, I'm really not responsible for your growth, right? So I have done that where I have walked away from a friendship without saying anything, because I think if I spend time, energy, and effort when it was not asked for, it's just, I'm not responsible for your growth, and it would be even more of almost like a hit if I were to give energy and time and my words and my opinions on someone that is not in a place to be receptive as well, and be able to acknowledge it or receive it. And so that kind of highlights a dynamic, because every relationship that we have has an opportunity for growth. And I mean, learning is everywhere all the time and everywhere we go. So we have the capacity to learn from every single interaction, to learn from every single thing. And that's kind of just how I view life.
Yeah, I mean, relationships, especially partners, they're amazing mirrors of yourself, right? Like of what you're calling in, what you're attracting, what your vibration is bringing in, and it teaches you, like, okay, I need to do this. And and it's great for growth, and ideally you do that together, right? And grow together.
So what's an interesting thing for me, or a big thing that I'm kind of having to come up against, is my identity around being a psychologist. Have we talked about? I don't think we've talked about this. So at a young age, I was in secondary school when I decided, okay, I'm going to be a psychologist, not just any psychologist, a forensic psychologist. Don't ask. Too much X-Files. Anyway, I decided to become a psychologist, and in the process of becoming a psychologist, 23 years of school later, and falling in love with Freud. Listen, if you don't like Freud, we have problems. Anyway, I decided to be a psychologist a long time ago. And when I was very young and impressionable, and I became that, it was very much come hell or high water. Very much, this is the thing that I'm going to do. And that's it, period. There's nothing else. And I did it, right? And now I'm thinking of not doing it. And that's really hard, because, permission to change my mind, well, it's kind of like,
it's a big one.
Well, also, I just am a psychologist. And I don't have to practice psychology. I don't have to be an active psychologist, meaning I don't have to have a license that is active. I don't have to have an active caseload, which I do. All of those things I do have. It's more that I'm in a state of growth and transition into other things. And there has been a part of me for quite some time that is white-knuckling this, I am ... a psychologist, ! And part of it is just the the concept that was planted, I don't know by who, by myself, right? A really long time ago when I was young, and I held on to it. It's almost like saying, another part of my identity, right? I'm someone that has, I don't know, dark hair. Like it's almost become just a part of the foundation of me, and having this tension state of, okay, I can walk away from this, and at the same time, I don't know how much of it is walking away, because I still have all the schooling, I still have all the knowledge, I still have all the practice. There is a difference between someone that has an active clinical practice versus someone that doesn't, sure. And there's a part of me that's like, no, but I am. And that I am carries so much power and weight. And I'm, I was white-knuckling it, and now I'm like pulling one finger off at a time. And that's been kind of an interesting process as I'm like adapting and evolving into other identities, right? I'm a writer, I'm a podcaster, and also I am that I am, like I mentioned in a few episodes before.
As you're talking, I'm like thinking, well, I understand what you're saying, and also I want to bring up something that came up for me, because to me this was like, okay, I had to give myself a lot of permissions to do this, and it was when I was married, and then I changed my mind and I wanted a divorce, and that took years of thinking, like, am I really done? Is this going to be okay? What about the boys? What about this? What about that? And it felt comfortable to be just where I was without change. And then I was like, until I couldn't anymore, right? But the thought of, if I say this, I can't take it back. And, like just saying it and accepting the change and going through the changes, because everything was going to be different after just saying it. And so that, and right now I'm like, I'm so at peace. I'm so grateful that I had the courage to do it. I gave myself permission to do it. I stopped using my boys as an excuse to be in the marriage. And I felt, or I feel that, this is definitely a new version of myself,
And you had to let go of old versions of you in order to be this version of you.
Absolutely.
And I feel like this is what this whole episode is about, being able to evolve into a version of the self that you want to become, and being able to set out an objective or a target in order to make that happen. I want to be the type of person that does X, right? And shows up in this way. And that takes change and evolution. It's interesting now thinking about it. There's before, when I was in training, there was this thing with I don't know. And one of my professors just basically said, don't say, I don't know. You have to come up with something. If I'm asking you, about a conceptualization about a patient, if I'm asking you about this theoretical approach, if I'm asking you about X or Y, you need to come up with something. And I don't know is unacceptable, which was fair enough.
for what it is, right?
For the setting, it was fair enough for like, no, you can't have an empty bubble here. You have to think, right? And I kind of took that with me, like, no, I don't know is unacceptable. And now the more that I know, the more I definitely don't know.
I call it the holy not knowing. And
man, yeah. I don't know. Like the more that I learn, the more areas that I occupy with I don't know, which I feel like is a deeper wisdom and not an excuse to not think, which when I was in graduate school, it was an excuse to not think. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, okay. You can't say that. And now the I don't know has become a powerful, literal occupying the space of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been transformative, where before I was not allowed to not know.
Permission to not know.
When it's applied the right way.
Right. When it's just used for everything, then you're like, well, you gotta know something.
I know. You can't not know nothing.
Mm-hmm. And also, at times it's being used as an excuse not to say what you feel, right? Like, oh, I don't know. What are you feeling? I don't know. Well, dig deep. And where is it?
Figure it out.
Where are you feeling it in your body?
Use your words.
Start over there, like, and that's I'm thinking of my boys when they were little. They're like, oh, well, why you're angry? Why? Or like Zed, remember she was like, why are you shouting?
Gnome troll? What is it? A garden gnome?
So I don't know. It's okay. You don't need to know everything, but it depends how it's used. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. So listen, we're here. We're real. We're telling you things that are real about our real lives and about how we think and about how we perceive the world and about how we interact with the world. And we are going to change. Yeah. That is a promise, because I will not be the same person from now until the next podcast, because I consume way too much information for this.
She does.
So here's what will be consistent, right? I will tell you my current truth and my current perception of reality, which is subject to change. And that is what is on record for now. Yeah. And I want to say that my future self has permission to change, and my current self has permission to change, and my past self has already granted me permission to change. So last thoughts?
Embrace it. Embrace change. Change is where, magic happens. Embracing those moments that lead us to change, and it's okay. And at times it might be hard because you changed and the environment remains. But a step backwards just to maintain the environment the way it was, like you've changed. Build it, they will come.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we have for you this week. Permission to change your mind, change yourself. You get to decide.
Change your life.
No one can make you change.
No.
And we'll be back next week.
With your permission.
And that is all we have for you this week.
Make sure you follow Permission the Podcast.
And we'll be back next week with your permission.